handful of games have left a mark on the gaming world, quite like Warcraft 3: Reign of Chaos, a game celebrated not just for its own achievements, but also for laying the groundwork for one of the most successful video games of all time, World of Warcraft. But that wasn't the only game it gave birth to. In fact, many others would follow suit and become some of the world's most popular esports games ever.
But before we dive into that complete history of Warcraft 3, we do have to thank this video's sponsor, Unicorn Overlord. Don't let the name fool you. This game is not some fairy goody two-shoes adventure. It is a classic heroic fantasy RPG that pays homage to the 16 and 32-bit strategy RPGs of the past with these gorgeous 2D aesthetics. The game is launching on March the 8th, everybody, for the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox, the PS5, and the PS4. And if you want to check it out today, there's a demo for it linked down below in the description. This is a game where you will build your own army with up to 60 unique characters before traversing this massive, fully explorable world. Grow in your renown, gather new allies, materials, reclaim or rebuild towns, engage in quests, and a whole lot more. Best of all, Unicorn Overlord is a game full of items and weapons to be collected and customized, unique real-time battles with strategic party compositions, multiple classes and races with different synergies and relationships for offense or defense, different skills to complement squads. This is an absolutely massive RPG, and if you want to check it out, it is linked down below in the description. You can play a demo for it right now. March the 8th is the release day. Guys, check out Unicorn Overlord if you're ready for a new adventure.
Crafted by the visionary minds at Blizzard Entertainment, Warcraft 3 was more than a mere addition to the gaming library. It was a bold revolution in the real-time strategy genre. Its impact resonated through the gaming world, setting new standards and expectations for what an RTS game could be. But to truly appreciate the legacy of Warcraft 3, we must journey back to its roots, to the early days of the Warcraft series and the rise of the RTS genre, a time when Blizzard Entertainment was carving out its reputation in the gaming industry in its humble beginnings. The story of Warcraft and its colossal impact on the gaming world begins with the early iterations of the series, which played a pivotal role in shaping the real-time strategy genre. The RTS genre, a blend of strategic planning, resource management, and real-time action, was in its early stages when the first Warcraft game emerged. This genre, evolving from the mid-1980s, was marked by titles like Herzog's Vi, Dune 2, and Command & Conquer, which laid the groundwork for what RTS would become. Each game in the genre pushed the boundaries of what was possible, both in terms of gameplay mechanics and narrative depth. But around the same time, a game would come along that would ignite a completely different level of strategy gaming. It all started with the first iteration.
Welcome to the world of Warcraft.
In the wake of the success of Dune 2 and Herzog's Vi, Blizzard Entertainment noted a surprising absence of RTS games in the market during 1993 and early 1994. Seizing the opportunity presented by this temporary hiatus in RTS releases, Blizzard started the creation of Warcraft: Orcs and Humans. It was released in North America on the 15th of November 1994. Within a year of its launch, the game achieved a remarkable milestone, surpassing sales of 100,000 units. Its popularity continued to soar, eventually reaching 300,000 copies sold. Thanks to its widespread appeal, the game had secured the 19th spot in the top 20 CD rankings across all categories. But what was it that made Warcraft such a hit? Warcraft distinguished itself with its innovative gameplay and storytelling right from the beginning. As players first stepped into the mystical land of Azeroth, they found themselves in the midst of an epic conflict between noble humans and the fierce orcs. This rich fantasy setting was more than just a backdrop. It was a world teeming with lore and character, captivating players with its depth. With the RTS genre on the rise, Warcraft offered a refined, dynamic experience. It skillfully blended elements of resource management, base building, and unit control, all unfolding in real time. It was a significant shift from the turn-based strategy games that dominated the era, offering players a new level of engagement and immediacy. It also added the multiplayer option, which, at the time, started to see traction amongst the gaming community. While Warcraft Orcs and Humans wasn't the first game that offered multiplayer gameplay in the RTS genre, it played a pivotal role in convincing a broader audience of multiplayer features in future RTS titles. The immersive experience was further improved by a variety of audio cues and voice acting, which were relatively rare in games at the time.
Yes, my lord.
Following the success of Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2 was released in 1995 and built upon the foundation of the original, improving almost every aspect of the game. The most striking difference was in the visuals. Where Warcraft Orcs and Humans had simpler graphics, Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness featured more detailed and vibrant art, bringing the world of Azeroth to life with greater clarity and colour. The sequel also expanded the gameplay mechanics significantly. While the original Warcraft laid the groundwork with basic resource gathering and unit management, Warcraft 2 introduced more varied units, including naval forces, adding a new strategic dimension to battles. This expansion of military options allowed for more complex and different strategies, deepening the gameplay experience. Another key improvement was in the game's storytelling and world building. Warcraft 2 offered a more immersive story, with each campaign mission accompanied by detailed briefings and story elements, enriching the lore of Azeroth. It builds upon the original lore in Warcraft Orcs and Humans, where the first war resulted in the fall of Azeroth, leading the survivors to flee to the human kingdom of Lordaeron. This sets the stage for the second war, which is told in Warcraft 2, where the Orcs, now aiming to conquer Lordaeron, face off against the humans and their allies. Thanks to these improvements, Warcraft 2 hit the milestone of 500,000 units sold within just 3 months of its release. By November, this figure had more than doubled, surpassing 1.2 million units. But even with all the success, the best of Warcraft was yet to come. After the success of Warcraft 2, Blizzard initially set its sights on expanding the Warcraft story through a point-and-click adventure game titled Warcraft Adventures: Lord of the Clans. This game was envisioned to chronicle Thrall's journey, from his upbringing in captivity to his eventual rise as the leader of his clan. However, in a move reflecting the company's commitment to quality, Blizzard cancelled Lord of the Clans in 1998, citing that it did not meet their standards. But, luckily for us, Thrall's story would not go untold. Instead, it would be seamlessly integrated into the development of Warcraft 3, which started in early 1998. The development of Warcraft 3 marked a significant shift from its prequels. For the first time in the series, the game was rendered in 3 dimensions, a technical leap that brought the world of Azeroth to life with unprecedented detail and depth. This transition to 3D was a monumental task, requiring the team to rethink and redesign every aspect of the game's visual and gameplay mechanics. Notably, every character in the game, even the environmental units like sheep, featured animated 3D portraits that came to life during dialogue. Initially, the game was envisioned as a different strategy game, tentatively named Warcraft Legends. This early concept was characterized by a limited number of units under the player's command, an over-the-shoulder camera perspective, and, notably, no base building. However, after a year of development, the team found that this approach wasn't panning out as hoped. Adapting to the challenge, Blizzard repurposed the existing framework, ultimately transforming it into Warcraft 3: Reign of Chaos. But would it pay off? Central to the success of prior Warcraft games was rich lore and character development. In order to achieve the same level of success for Warcraft 3, transitioning to 3D was not enough. Neither was the same level of storytelling, as competitors like Westwood Studios, who made games like Command & Conquer, were constantly improving on their games. So, Warcraft 3 introduced players to a new story complexity by creating two new playable factions, the Night Elves and the Undead, each with their unique units, structures, and gameplay styles. This expanded the strategic possibilities and added a fresh dynamic to the Warcraft universe. The inclusion of heroes, powerful units with unique abilities, and the potential to turn the tide of battle added an RPG element to the RTS foundation. Add in the story of the Burning Legion's attempt to conquer Azeroth and the undead army led by the fallen paladin Arthas Menethil, and you have a narrative that was more than just a backdrop for the gameplay. But what made Warcraft 3 truly stand out was the move away from the mission briefings to narrating its story through in-game cutscenes, utilizing the game's 3D engine and employing side-view camera angles for a more immersive experience. If there's anything a gamer loves, it's a cutscene that immerses them in a story, or being able to teabag an opponent. It was easy to see that the design choices in Warcraft 3 were bold and innovative, setting new standards for the genre. But only once the game was released would they know whether or not the fans agreed with their choices. After several years of anticipation, in July 2002, the gaming world braced itself for the arrival of Warcraft 3: Reign of Chaos, a title that was not just eagerly awaited, but destined to redefine... It's holy. But destined to redefine the RTS genre. And when the game finally hit the shelves, it did not disappoint. The initial reception was overwhelmingly positive, with both players and critics praising its innovative gameplay, immersive storytelling, and stunning 3D graphics. Commercially, it shipped 4.4 million copies to retail stores, selling over 1 million within a month. This commercial success proved the game's appeal and Blizzard Entertainment's reputation for quality game development. But the game's impact was just in its beginnings, and the success it received was due to several factors. Critically, it was praised for its presentation and multiplayer features. The game's narrative depth, with its rich lore and compelling characters, offered a storytelling caliber that was unprecedented in RTS games. But what truly set it apart and launched it to legendary status were the new gameplay features, many of which would go on to become a staple in esports. For example, the game also had a new approach to resource management, particularly through its innovative upkeep system, which challenged players to strategically balance unit composition and resource allocation. Adding to this depth were the various factions and hero units with unique abilities, infusing variety and a new level of strategy into the gameplay. These hero units, evolving and gaining new abilities, introduced RPG elements into the RTS genre, offering players new ways to outmaneuver their opponents. Warcraft 3 also set new standards in online competitive play with its advanced multiplayer features, including anonymous matchmaking and arranged team games. This feature is now a cornerstone in many of the most popular esports games. But perhaps the most significant legacy of Warcraft 3 was its world editor, which enabled the creation of custom game modes. This powerful tool allowed modders to radically transform the game, enabling them to alter nearly every aspect and create new maps that diverge significantly from the original content. Remarkably, despite its comprehensive features, the world editor was designed with accessibility in mind, making it user-friendly even for those without any coding experience. This ease of use democratized game design, allowing a broader range of players to craft and share their unique visions for the game. Then, the integration of Battle.net played a crucial role in amplifying the popularity of these custom maps. Through this platform, players could easily share their creations, contributing to a vibrant community of custom content. This platform eventually led to iconic mods like Defense of the Ancients, also known as Dota, and which eventually led to League of Legends, laying the groundwork for the MOBA genre that now dominates the esports scene. This user-generated content not only extended the game's lifespan, but also highlighted the potential of community involvement in game development. Warcraft 3 was more than just a commercial success. It was a visionary game that reshaped the landscape of competitive gaming. Its innovative features fostered a new level of strategic depth and player engagement, paving the way for the rise of esports and influencing the design of future competitive titles. But it wasn't done there. Warcraft 3 would also be the foundation upon which the world of Warcraft would be built. Nearly 2 decades since its debut, no other title has yet to rival World of Warcraft's reign as the undisputed leader in the MMORPG genre. This transition from a celebrated RTS to the most successful, massively multiplayer online role-playing game marked a pivotal moment in gaming history. World of Warcraft took the rich lore, expansive world, and intricate storytelling introduced in Warcraft 3 and transformed it into an immersive, living world where players could create their own stories. Set in the Warcraft universe, WoW expanded on the story laid out in Warcraft 3. Taking place approximately 4 years after the events of that game. This continuity provided a familiar yet infinitely expanded playground for the fans of the series. The appeal of the MMORPG genre, with its open worlds, deep character customization, and the ability to interact with thousands of other players, was perfectly captured in WoW. The game offered an unparalleled level of immersion and community engagement. Players could explore the vast world of Azeroth, embark on quests, join forces in raids, engage in player versus player combat, or simply enjoy the rich lore and environment. As a result of these innovations, the success of World of Warcraft was monumental. Since its release in 2004, the game has seen millions of subscriptions, with over 100 million accounts created and a peak of 12 million active subscribers. Its financial success was equally impressive, grossing roughly $1 billion per year. WoW became more than just a game, it was a cultural phenomenon, influencing not just the gaming industry, but pop culture as a whole. Blizzard's strategy in growing WoW's network was key to its success. The game's subscription model, combined with the option to play for free up to a certain level, lowered the barriers to entry, attracting a huge player base. In addition, Blizzard's continuous updates, expansions and improvements have kept the game fresh and engaging, ensuring that both new and veteran players always have something to look forward to. This is further supported by the fact that in 2023, there are a total of 5.6 million active players. Not bad for a game that was released in 2004. Now, ever since the initial release of Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos, many things have changed. Many new games have come and gone, capturing the imagination of gamers worldwide. Graphics and gameplay have improved in these new games, but none have had the same level of impact as Warcraft 3. The fact that it is still being played and laid the foundation for so many games that, to this day, are played by masses just goes to show how insane of an effect it had. So, it makes sense why the next step for Blizzard during 2018 was to try and modernize it. In an attempt to bring back some nostalgia, Blizzard set out on an ambitious project to remaster the beloved 2002 classic. However, the release of Reforged in January 2020 quickly turned from a moment of nostalgic celebration to one of widespread disappointment and controversy. The issues with Reforged were plenty. Firstly, fans were upset about the outdated gameplay footage and the significant disparity between the promotional material and the actual game. Expectations were set high by Blizzard's initial announcements, which promised enhanced graphics, revamped cutscenes, and improved gameplay. However, the final product fell short of delivering these upgrades. The cutscenes, in particular, lacked the cinematic depth and quality that was showcased during the game's promotion. Another major point of contention was the game's end-user license agreement, which was seen as overly restrictive, especially regarding player-created content. This was a significant blow to the Warcraft 3 community, known for its vibrant modding scene. Under the new EULA, all custom games created in Reforged belonged to Blizzard, a policy shift that felt particularly exploitative given the original game's history and the community's contribution to its longevity. Furthermore, Reforged was riddled with technical issues, including bugs, performance problems, and missing features that were part of the original game. This led to a backlash from the community, with players voicing their frustrations on various platforms and many requesting refunds. Blizzard's response to the controversy did little to soften the fans' disappointment. While the company acknowledged some of the issues and promised fixes, many players felt that the response fell short and did not fully address the core concerns. This situation not only tarnished the legacy of Warcraft 3, but also impacted Blizzard's reputation, with fans questioning the company's commitment to its community and its legacy titles. That being said, even with Blizzard's recent letdowns, we can still look back at the original Warcraft 3 and see why it had such a huge impact on gaming. Without it, the gaming scene would not have been the same. Even years after its release, Warcraft 3 continues to be celebrated for its strategic complexity, compelling lore, and the way it revolutionized the gaming landscape. Not only did this game go on to foster World of Warcraft, but it also heavily influenced the creation of the MOBA genre, one of the most popular gaming genres today. The game's ongoing popularity is sustained not just by its original brilliance, but also by the passionate updates from its fanbase. The modding community in particular has played a crucial role in keeping Warcraft 3 alive and relevant, creating new content and experiences that have extended the game's life far beyond its initial release. This community-driven approach to game preservation is a shining example of how a game can evolve and thrive through the dedication and creativity of its players. If this story captivated you and you're eager to continue exploring the vast realms of Azeroth and beyond, be sure to check out our other videos. Just like the finest goods in Azeroth's bustling markets, our stories are crafted with the utmost care and quality. Until next time.